What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo, and this show is off the hook. I'm ready, dude. I've been pumped to do that movie quote for all day, basically. When it came to my mind, if you don't know the movie, it's called Grind. Go check it out. It's a comedy. It's old and it's a shitty comedy, but it's hilarious. But my man, Evo, how you doing, brother? We have got a great show. We got to do some gambling tonight. I'm busy all day tomorrow. I'm busy Tuesday as well, so we're going to figure out all this shit because Veterans Day. But my man, how are you doing, brother? I mean, I just had a lot of travel.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously good to be back. I'm happy it's the weekend. I'm going to keep beating this dead horse. I'm not getting fucking paid, and it's stupid. And the Senate just blocked a bill to pay fucking federal workers and the military. I'll let you figure out which side did that. Assholes. Just fucking pay me my money. I honestly don't care what happens with healthcare at this point. I'm tired of not getting paid for fucking a month and a half. So I'm pissed about that. But the good news is that it's the weekend, and it's going to be a long weekend for me, a nice 4-day. So that's cool. I'll sit at home and be frugal as to not spend the money I don't have because I'm not getting paid. But at least I get to watch football over this weekend, have a good time with that. And of course, we get to do some gambling with this show. So might not be putting more money into my sports book, but I will be looking to either blow everything I got or make a little bit off of what's in there. And I think that we got some good ones this week to help anyone else who's trying to make a little bit of extra cheddar, put a little papega in their pocket, we're here for it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, we hit a pretty good week last week. I'm going to be very transparent right at the beginning of the show. I went a little bit more aggressive last week. Last week was strictly to just hit a couple of rhythm jumpers, get a couple of balls going into the basket, feel good about it. This week, I'm taking some shots, though. I'm hoisting from 3. I'm letting it fly from 68 like Cam fucking Little, baby. And I'm taking some shots because there's some games, once again, that don't make any fucking sense on the line. So I'm just going to bring that up now. But I'm going to take the team that I'm not supposed to, according to Vegas, because it worked kind of last week. But
all right. Look, I we talked about this before the show, and it's interesting because we've been doing this for years now. Never really discussed it. Like, I make my picks mostly in the moment. Like, I will take a lot of notes and stuff like that, and I'll start to get an idea of where I'm going with something. But I do trust the plums for the most part in the moment as I'm making the pick. And you make your picks a little bit before the show ahead of time. So two different perspectives on it. 2 different ways of attacking and executing, and we're still getting pretty positive results out of it. So that's pretty awesome. But we did have a game last night.
We did.
If you watched the game,
didn't want to start diving into that yet because listen, the recap of this game is going to be very quick.
Yeah. Look, we can get out of the way.
That's true. Let's get it out of the way.
It was shit. It was dog shit. When the coolest part of the game is the punting, it's a bad game. We saw 2 punts go out at like the 1-yard line. Doesn't happen often. Cool. We also saw a blocked punt. Other than that, it was just absolutely god-awful offensive play. Not fun to watch unless you are super into defense. And I like defense, but that was just a boring game. It was like Thursday Night Football from last year. That's all I got on this one. Broncos win 10-7. Barn burn.
Yeah, It was terrible. The Broncos should be banned from being on Thursday Night Football. Every time they end up on Thursday Night Football, it's a dog shit game. There was nothing really positive to report other than badass punting. I don't know how you make a punt turn 90 degrees and go out at the half-yard line, but that dude's a fucking baller. Outside of that, there's no point to watch this game. No point to go back and watch it if you're a Broncos fan. No point to go back and watch it if you're a Raiders fan, because both of your teams look like complete dog shit. Broncos fans, you just get lucky at the end and your team gets a 3-point victory over a terrible team. It's just not worth it.
Yep. All right. Now that we have that out of the way, we can get into more important stuff.
Yeah, actually, man. So we have some other things that I want to talk about. Coming up over the next few days is Veterans Day. You started bringing it up. You know, we have salute the service, all of that, pay the federal workers. But here in Cleveland, we're going to be doing a parade downtown, the Cleveland's Veteran Day Parade. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in here right now. The parade is going to take place 12:30 p.m. at Cleveland City Hall. Then it's going to go all the way down to Tower City, where there will be events taking place inside of Tower City. I talked with Matt Eck today, one of the organizers of this event. It's looking like it's going to be a really great opportunity for veterans to get out there, have a celebration, and also maybe get in touch with some resources. There will also probably be a resource fair coming up, I think, on the 13th that's going to follow this as well. So thanks to Matt. And if you guys are in the area, if you want to get out, support the veterans in your area out here in Cleveland, come out to the Veterans Day Parade. Starts at 12:30. Boom.
Alrighty. And hey, with that, obviously we are both veterans. We're very tied in with the veteran community. One of the things that kind of plagues our community is veteran suicide, something that, you know, we both have experiences with. And unfortunately, this week we got really terrible news kind of concerning the NFL. A young player, Marshawn Kneeland from the Dallas Cowboys, 24 years old, took his life. Terrible news to hear about, real shitty. He was a guy that I was a fan of when he came out in the draft just a couple years ago. And so it's one of those things that kind of hits home to us. It sucks how normalized it is in our society. And then, you know, it hits a little bit closer to home, I think, for people when it is someone in the limelight, a sports star, a musician, things like that. But we just want people to know there's outlets. Like we kind of preach this all the time. You might be watching us and not know us. And if you're here, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. We might not know you, but if you hit us up out of the blue and you're like, I need to talk to someone because I'm in a bad spot, like, we're both going to be here. There are tons and tons of opportunities for people out there. It's a difficult conversation. It's a tough spot. But we signed up to go to war, and that doesn't necessarily end when we come home. And we're still willing to fight. We're willing to fight for you. So don't check out early. Check in with us.
Yeah. It's very well said, man. Obviously, the suicide problem in the veteran community is pretty well documented. Everybody's heard the number 22 a day, right? 22 a day, 22 a day. I constantly remember hearing that, and we do push-ups, 22 push-ups a day to kind of commemorate that. But when you really think about that number and you put it in context of how long that is, it's 160,000 people in the veteran community. And then that's just a small microcosm of what's happening in America and in the way mental health is being dealt with. Now it's gotten a lot better from when we were younger men. It is still not perfect. There are still stigmas around going and speaking to somebody. And as somebody who myself has been in therapy, just completed a 15-week therapy program. There are people to talk to. It doesn't make you weak to go and talk to somebody. It doesn't diminish anything that you've done or will do just because you are having some struggles now that you need to talk to somebody about. So please, if you are ever feeling that way, reach out to somebody, us, friend, family, anybody. And like Evo said, if you reach out to us, I guarantee you we will respond. We will talk back. So
there's a reason why this bottom scroller bar isn't just talking about the show. We have it in there. If you're having thoughts of hurting yourself, dial 988. It's in there every single show. It's not an easy conversation. Like you said, it's not a point of weakness because we've had those conversations. I'm sure I can't speak for both of us. We've probably had some of those thoughts, and they are fucking tough. It's not easy. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong to be able to even talk about it. So, for anyone out there that's hurting, having struggles, anything like that, we're here for you. Dial 988. There will be someone on the other end of the line for you. And for everyone out there, veteran or not, check on your friends. Check on your friends. A phone call to someone that you haven't talked to in a while can make all the difference. And so as a community, we need to do what we can to support each other.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a hard thing to pivot off of a tough subject like this. But I do want to bring up one other activity that's happening in Cleveland, and it's happening tomorrow. And I feel like it can kind of help with this message. I'll be down at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tomorrow, working with a bunch of other students from Cleveland State, working with Classic Teleproductions at a recovery gym for people who are recovering from alcohol, drugs, sort of, any kind of addiction. So it's one of those. It's going to be, I think, a really cool vibe to go out there and be around a bunch of people, musicians, because there's a ton of live music going on throughout this event. That is going to, kind of be a cool community event as well. So if you're also struggling with any kind of substance abuse, I know that substance abuse and mental health issues kind of go hand in hand, or at least they did for me. So there's a ton of other things to go out and do. There are other places to go, and if you go out, you don't always have to drink either. Speaking of, I got this right here. Little Saints, non-alcoholic spirit made with lion's mane mushroom. Because I'm not drinking anymore. I decided I was going to give it up.
All right.
So, hell yeah.
Nice. It's good for your health.
It is. Yeah, I'll probably lose a bunch of weight.
All right, man. Well, with that, we do have the rest of week 10 ahead of us, not just shitty Thursday night games. Are you ready to start breaking down into all these games?
Yeah, I felt like we needed to properly lube up what was happening before we go raw dog the rest of these picks, because otherwise it's just you're not going to have a good time. Duct tape, sticky side out is never the right way to go.
I haven't been there, Mike. I can't speak to it. All right. With that, we will start looking at our games. We have a game versus the Atlanta Falcons and Indianapolis Colts, but this isn't just any old game. This game is happening in Berlin. Yeah. Another Europe game. Fantastic. I love it. But the good news with this game is that it's happening at, well, actually, I don't know. I don't go through the time changes. Is this a better time for you? It's 7:31 in the morning Mountain Standard Time, which means
9:31 for me. Shit. Yeah. It's same time as before. Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
They were always a 9:30 for me. They were like 6:30 for you, right?
Ass crack of dawn for me. Yeah. So I'm getting a better deal here because of daylight savings and that whole situation. But either way, we have the Atlanta Falcons, Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored in Berlin, -6.5 points at -112 odds, over under a 48.5. Colts coming off of a terrible loss where they beat themselves. We talked about this earlier in the week. They beat themselves versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Atlanta Falcons are a team that it's tough to grab or actually grasp what they are. Some weeks they look like they're a playoff team. Other weeks it doesn't look like they know their ass from their beak. What do you think is going to happen in this game, Mike? Do you think that we're going to continue to see Daniel Jones regress back to kind of what he was viewed as in New York and possibly see some of those ghosts? Are we going to see the Falcons have one of their good ones?
I think we're going to see Daniel Jones be pulled back. The reins are going to be pulled back, and we're going to see a lot more Jonathan Taylor. Because what was happening is Daniel Jones was starting to really play with some good rhythm. He was starting to feel himself, and they started to expand that playbook. They were slinging that ball around. I think that is probably going to be pulled back a little bit. We're going to see them really focus on making sure Jonathan Taylor gets his touches and gets the run game going so they can work off of play action. Now, the Falcons, sometimes their defense shows up. Sometimes it's pretty good, and especially in the back end. But sometimes they're complete ass. I just don't know that their offense is going to do enough. Michael Penix has struggled, especially with pressure. This Colts team is very good. They are going to get pressure up front, and now they have a lockdown corner in Sauce Gardner to help on the outside so he can take care of Drake London. I got the Colts winning this thing just on the money line. I would typically think about dropping the points here because the Falcons have been so bad. I want to see the additions to that Colts defense get acclimated before I start saying, okay, yes, it's going to totally work, because Sauce is a great player, but if he doesn't understand where he's supposed to be or what's going on in coverages, he could get fucking lost and they could blow some coverages and some bad shit could happen. So I'm going to just take the Colts on the money line.
Yeah, with Sauce, I would assume that, while he's still learning the playbooks and things like that, they're probably going to heavily involve him in just purely man. Go get on Drake London, man cover, follow him around the field. That takes a lot of the difficulty of the playbook out of his head.
Yeah.
And it's what he does best, is working in man coverage. One point of news, though, for this Colts team, DeForest Buckner on IR for a minimum of 4 weeks. Sounds like it's going to be a little bit longer with the neck injury. And he is obviously a really stout pass rusher for them, so they're losing a little bit there. Look, the Falcons have dropped 3 in a row. They are currently 3rd in their division. That's a tough spot to be in. Their backs are against the wall. If they want any sort of a chance to jump the Panthers, which is fucking crazy to say, and to try to compete with the Buccaneers, they need to win this game. But it's a tough spot to be in. This is a Berlin game. First time that we've had a game in Berlin. Europe travel always adds weird oddities. I think the Colts are a better team. I'm also going to take the Colts on the money line. That being said, with the points being 6.5 for the spread, I don't think it's insane to consider taking the Falcons plus the points in this one, because a lot of times these European games, just because there's oddities involved, can be played a lot closer. And the Falcons are probably going to be in more of a desperation mode in this game because it's going to feel like their season's on the line here. We are halfway through the season. They need to get a lot of wins to try and stay competitive, try to get at least a wild card spot. So I'm going to take the Colts on the money line, and I feel like that's the safest bet because I do think that they are the better team here. I said last week that loss did not change my perspective on the Colts whatsoever. It didn't change my perspective on Daniel Jones whatsoever. It was a bad game. It was a clunker. That's going to happen to teams, but I don't think that they're all of a sudden just going to become frail. They are going to get back to the run game. Jonathan Taylor is going to get heavy dosage of running the ball. And then you do add a premier player in Sauce Gardner. This team's gotten better. So give me the Colts on the money.
All right. I'm going the same way, brother. You want to go ahead and do the next one, brother? I'll go after that.
All righty. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars and Houston Texans in Houston. The Texans are the underdogs here at home, plus 1.5 points at minus 118 odds. You can drop the 1.5 for Jacksonville at minus 104 odds. Over under of 37.5, kind of gearing this up to be a defensive showdown. Big part of that, Davis Mills starting at quarterback for the Houston Texans, but also for Jacksonville, they're down their top 2 wide receiver targets. Travis Hunter is out, and BTJ also ruled out for this game. And they just get Jacoby Myers in, who is a sure-handed, a solid receiver, but again, he's just getting in there to learn the playbook. So we might start to see a heavy dose of running the ball there for the Jaguars. Their script might be changed quite a bit from having a passing attack like you would normally expect. So, Mike, thoughts on this one? Where are you going? Houston with the strong defense, or Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a little bit more of a even team as far as offense and defense is concerned right now, with that offense being a little bit neutered?
Yeah, I think that their offense missing key pieces is going to be a big deal. I also think that being home dogs is going to be a little bit of a big deal for the Texans. Now, granted, they are down their starting quarterback. But Davis Mills has started in this league. He's been with his team for basically his entire career. So it's not like he is learning anything new. He's just not as talented as CJ Stroud. But he should know the offense well enough. And that defense we know is exceptional. They are like on a historic pace. I was looking like 123 or 124 points they've allowed all year so far. That's fucking nothing. So their defense can keep them in it. Now, do I know if they'll win? I don't. But I will take that 1.5 as a home dog and feel very good about it because I think they can win this thing at home.
All right. Look, I'm going the same way. Houston, ungodly, terrible offensive line. But at that point, it doesn't really change who your quarterback is, I guess, because both of them are going to be under pressure. I don't really like the Houston run game, but I do like the Houston weapons that they have. And if they can try to connect with some of those weapons, maybe you can get a couple more points than the other team. I do trust that Houston defense, though. They are fucking phenomenal. Danielle Hunter still, I believe, is probably the most underrated edge rusher in the game. Still doesn't get the credibility that he should. But that defense is incredible. They barely lost last week at home to another really, really good defense with the Denver Broncos. Now, like we just talked shit about the Denver Broncos a little bit in the Thursday night game and how Bo Nix doesn't seem to be able to put together 4 good quarters. He might get a good quarter out of a game, and it usually is the fourth quarter. But still, like that team couldn't do anything against him. I don't know that the Jacksonville Jaguars, without those offensive weapons, are going to find a whole lot of success as well. I'm doing the same thing, man. I'm taking Houston plus the points here. Houston at home. Last week, we were concerned about that pick, and we both didn't take Houston, and we both happen to be right on it. This one makes it a little bit more sense to me because that defense is for real, and I think that they can shut down the Jaguars' offense.
I think they can too, especially without their top 2 targets. All right, man. Heading on to our next game, we got the Giants heading into Chicago, taking on the Bears. Bears favorited -4.5, over under 47.5. Bears on the money line -220. A lot of injuries in this game for the Giants. Are they going to have enough to battle and actually go out and beat a Bears team that has shown that at times can be really competitive, can put up a shitload of points? Where are you going, Evo?
Look, man, the Bears offense has shown that they can be pretty good. Kyle Monangai had a really good week last week. It sounds like they're going to be getting DeAndre Swift back. So he's probably going to get the bulk of the workload, but they have to respect a split there now, whether it's 70-30 or something like that. Monangai is going to get some of his, but from a fantasy perspective, it probably hurts both Monangai and Swift because they're going to be sharing the workload a little bit there. That being said, their defense showed how bad they can be last week, which I think that they have some solid players on that Bears defense, and they have a good defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen. I don't know why they can't put it together, but the point of the statement is that they can't put it together. They just fucking had a complete barn burner there with the Bengals, and they just don't instill a whole lot of confidence in me. But I don't know that the Giants have the weapons to really take advantage of that. It's still, Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, they're going to be going out there. We saw a decent amount of Tyron Tracy and Devin Singletary. None of those guys are like saying, like, to me, they're going to step up and become the dude that's going to kind of take over a game. And no matter how much Jackson Dart tries, he is working with subpar tools. He is working with second and third stringers at best on this offense. And that really scares me. They're going into Chicago for this game, which is always a tough place to play. I would like to give the Giants the points here, but to me, 4.5 isn't enough. So I'm going to be taking the Bears on the money line. Just feels like the safer play to me.
That's exactly what I went with as well, man. Bears on the money line. The injuries to that offense on the Giants are so impactful. Like, they do not have a ton of weapons. Now, Jackson Dart has found ways to make it work. He's using his legs. But the Bears have a fuckload of weapons. They can score. And their defense should be much better than they are, but they haven't been. Maybe they'll find a way to get some shit done. I'm going Bears money line as well. I think the running game will be a huge factor.
All righty. Next up, man. Baltimore Ravens versus my Minnesota Vikings. Ravens
Actually, go ahead and preface it. I'm so warm, dude. This hoodie's fucking hot as shit. I'm taking it off.
Look, I understand this game gets you hot and horny. It gets me there too, but maybe not in the same way as you. Look, Ravens, they got Lamar back. They are looking better. They are the favorites in this one, -4.5 points. Vikings are getting 4.5 as a home dog. You can take the money line for the Ravens -2 or 30 odds, over under of 48.5. My Vikings played a really good game last week.
Yeah.
Not statistical juggernaut or anything like that. Obviously, if you look at JJ McCarthy's stats, it wasn't crazy, but he did enough to win. He got 3 touchdowns total for that team and did good things. The problem with this Vikings team is that traditionally they've been bad against the run this year, except for last week where they held the Bears under 70 rushing yards total. But you are going up against a Derrick Henry. We know that he can be a good runner. You're going up against Lamar Jackson. We know he can be a good runner. And this Vikings team seems to have good week, bad week, good week, bad week, which would put us in line for a bad week here. That being said, the Vikings do need to start to string together any sort of wins here and probably win 6 of their last 9 games if they want to have a chance for the playoffs. 6 of the last 9? Yeah. Either way, they need to, not 6 or 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
My bad. But that being said, this Baltimore Ravens team, the defense is starting to play better, much like last year. Past couple weeks, they have actually started to play good, consistent defense. But the Vikings offense, I of course am a homer for JJ McCarthy, and I think that he looked not rattled last week, but he looked amped up. And if you saw any of the stuff from the post game, he was obviously pretty fucking amped up. Sidebar, I haven't had hatred towards a quarterback on my team since Brett Favre that I can remember. Like outside hatred from other fans. And I'm seeing a lot of shit out there about people really hating JJ McCarthy, and I kind of like it. Because the haters only come out if they got a reason to not like a guy and they're scared of him, in my opinion.
He's not going on ayahuasca trips, is he?
No, not yet. I don't know. He seems a little bit more straight-edged than that. But that being said, I would like to see him continue to make positive strides. I think that if he can kind of hold in 9, as he called it, his alter ego a little bit, and not get so amped up, he's probably getting a little bit better, actually, not overthrowing as much. And that makes that offense a hell of a lot more potent. This just doesn't seem like the one, though. I'm scared about this Ravens team. Brian Flores has had good success against this Ravens team in the past, doing a lot of cover 0. But that was when Lamar was younger and Flores was the head coach of the Dolphins. I don't know if that same script is going to work. This does seem like an offense that is kind of catered to beating the Vikings defense, which has a lot of open space there in the middle. If Lamar can beat the Blitz, which is going to happen, he's going to be able to find open targets usually. And last week was the first week that our Blitz game truly impacted a passer this season. So I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm not going to take my Vikings on the money line. I will take the 4.5 just because I am a homer and I would love to see us get the win here. Because if we want any chance of possibly getting the playoffs, we need to string together wins. And we do have a very difficult schedule the rest of the year. So we might as well start here, string together a couple of wins and kind of see if JJ can continue to progress through this season.
All right. Listen, man, I'm going Vikings plus 4.5 as well. So we've picked all 4 of the same so far. I think that you guys are going to be able to slow down the run a little bit. Now, granted, you guys have struggled a little bit, but you guys just slowed down probably the toughest rushing game in the entire NFL against the Lions. So, I think there's maybe an opportunity that you guys could do that. You're going to have to tackle. obviously missed tackles against Derrick Henry and fucking Lamar Jackson are a huge problem. You miss a tackle on those guys and it changes the entire thing, especially with you guys blitzing and leaving the middle of the field wide open. But if JJ can continue to build rapport and not juice it so much and, overthrow a bunch of deep balls, because he had guys, he had opportunities. I think you guys can score a little bit more. I don't know if you'll win this thing, but plus 4.5, I think you guys can keep this within 4 for sure. Like that feels really good with a field goal, maybe. But it feels like it's going to be, I don't know, 21, 24, 20, 27, 24, something like that is where I'm feeling it. So Vikings plus 4.5 feels good.
Yeah. Another thing to note here, he is going up against Uncle Harbaugh. Don't know if Daddy Harbaugh gave any sort of intel to Uncle Harbaugh or not. Not so sure. Not sure if there's any storyline to be had there. But one storyline that there is out there is that Lamar Jackson traditionally plays really good against NFC teams. So that also makes this worrisome for me. Typically, when we pick my Vikings both in some fashion, it doesn't work out well for me either. So I'm a little bit worried about this. The superstition is creeping in there. But with that, we can move on to our next one. This one, fun for you. We have the NFL XFL game mashup of the year. Sorry, I'm bashing on your Browns, but your Browns are going into New York versus the Jets, who are fielding essentially the Little Giants team, if you've seen that meme out there, because they went ahead and jettisoned a whole bunch of players right there at the trade deadline. Your Browns are favored on the road, -2.5 at -105 odds. You can take your Browns on the money line at -130. Over under of 37.5. Again, not expected to be a very high scoring game here. I think you're going to have to talk me out of not taking your Browns to win this one, possibly talk me out of not having them drop the points, because this Jets team, obviously they lost a bunch of talent. Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, the guys that stayed there, sounds like they didn't want to stay there. And Breece Hall.
Breece wanted to leave.
The emotions surrounding that team, it'll be interesting to see how Aaron Glenn is able to congeal this team together and keep them motivated for the rest of the season, knowing that they have punched their ticket. They're pretty much done.
Tank.
Those
Tank
guys
mode,
can start.
full effect. 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years that they were able to with that haul. So not the worst thing in the world for this team. Now, Aaron Glenn probably is not going to enjoy the rest of this year. I don't know what you say to the guys. Hey, we're going to go out there and compete. We don't have a lot of fucking talent on defense anymore, though, and our quarterback may or may not throw you the ball. So here's the thing. I'm not going to convince you that we should not take the Browns. I think things are starting to look up in Cleveland. The producer Amber, go ahead and hit the retweet now, because I'm about to have a nice little soliloquy about all the fun things that have happened in Cleveland over the last, I don't know, day and a half. Because Christmas come early. Paul DePodesta is gone from the Cleveland Browns organization. He is now going back to baseball. That means that there's going to be some shakeup in this organization. I don't know what is exactly going to happen. I did hear one thing that I did like, which is surprising, because it was Tony Grossi that fucking said it, and I almost never agree with anything Tony Grossi says. But we could promote Andrew Berry out of his GM role into that strategy role, and then fire Kevin and get a new GM and a new coach. And then we still keep Andrew Berry in-house, who can help with the cap manipulation and all the strategy bullshit, because he's smart. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. That could work as a path forward, especially if we can get some decent picks. I'm really hoping that the Jags lose this week, because I think we're beating the shit out of the Jets. I'm dropping 2.5 points. You can't dump that much talent, signal to your entire team that you're punting on the season, and have them be like, you know what? Nah, we're going to phone in a couple of these plays. We're going to take some G reps. Breece, watch your knees, brother. I mean, but I just don't see that team competing very hard. I'm taking Browns -2.5. And I'm very glad that Paul DePodesta is gone. And it means that other things are going to happen at the end of the offseason. I'm pretty sure he took that job because he knew he was going to get fired one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, he probably knew that he was on a sinking ship at that point. Everybody's jobs are
on the line,
on fucking fire. Yeah. Like, I don't know how I feel about the thought of Andrew Berry moving or not, because I would have to know the organizational breakdown a little bit better, whether or not that's just considered a lateral move or a promotion. Because if it's considered a promotion, I feel like he's still going to have his fingers in whoever the GM's pocket is and kind of be puppeteering them. And that scares me. Yes, they had a good draft this year, but like a lot of the other stuff that's happened scares me. And my assumption would be, as the GM, you are supposed to be the head honcho. That he would have been over top of Podesta at that point. But again, I don't know how your organizational structure works. So that would be fearful for me. I would rather go clean slate and start new. That being said, I'm just going to go Cleveland on the money line.
Okay.
Just because.
No Quentin Williams in the middle of the field.
Which sounds great for Quinshawn.
Yeah.
Also, I believe it's going to be a little bit of a windy game, possibly, which maybe, hopefully pushes you away from passing the ball too much. And look, I know you don't want
Dylan Gabriel's laser rocket arm ripping the ball through the wind.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Maybe if Joe Flacco was out there.
Yeah.
If only you could have that guy. But I do have a question for you, though. I did watch a Browns guy talking, I believe, on Barstool. All this stuff about, the Browns and Shedeur. Bring up Shedeur, just in case some Brownie fans are watching here. And how the Browns are, like, intentionally harming him. But he brought up a good point. He's like, they did draft him. They have to have a vision for him. And at this point, when the coach is like, I could lose my job, and the GM is like, I could lose my job, that's usually when you start kind of pulling the tricks out of your bag. They already moved play calling duties on offense over to a new guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you start to see what you have in Shedeur sooner than later? Why haven't they given him more practice reps? And maybe it's because they're like, that's a worse option for us right now. Maybe he actually isn't performing. I mean, and this is a heavy assumption, if we assume that your head coach and your GM and all the coaches on this team
know what they're doing,
are professionals, and there's a good reason why they have those jobs, they should be able to evaluate who's going to give them a better chance in a football game. And if they are wanting to possibly get some wins so they can try to save their job, wouldn't you go with like mystery box? Even if it was a mystery box?
Do you think they're trying to save their jobs though at this point, or do they already know?
I mean, if I'm not fired,
doesn't the leaving of Paul D. Podesta mid fucking season kind of signal that bad shit is on the horizon?
Absolutely, it's a huge signal. But these guys, especially Stefanski, he probably assumes he is getting fired sooner or later. But he has aspirations of coaching again. You want to put some good stuff on your resume to end the year. Like if
he's not play calling though, what's he gonna do? Manage the game? Hopefully he does a decent job of that.
I mean, you can, whether it is true or not, you can take credit for it as the head coach if you make a quarterback swap, and if all of a sudden because Dylan's starting this game, like I get that, but let's say next game, he's like, yeah, we're gonna switch to Shedeur. He's the face of the franchise, whether or not you really consider that to be GM, head coach, whoever. Stefanski's the face of the franchise. If he comes out there and says, yeah, we're going to start Shedeur, like either you think, hey, mystery box, we don't know what's going to happen here, or he thinks Shedeur is not up to play right now and he's not going to play him. I would go with mystery box, or I would go with play Shedeur, even if I think that he might be bad, just to give the fans like, look, we're trying every option here. But best case, they go and they rip off 6-7 wins with Shedeur there, and then either he gets fired and he can go to his next job and be like, actually, I wanted to play Shadur a lot earlier and I got told no, or blah, 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 whatever. Like, he can spin whatever he fucking
And then
wants.
they can each lie about how the interaction went to make it look like it was the other guy's fault.
Point being is that I think it's one or two options right now. I think Shadur either is not ready to go, or they just don't know what he is at all, and they're not suited for their jobs.
Not willing. Yeah, that's the thing. What's happening? They're not willing to make a tough decision and say, this is not fucking working right now. Let's try the other guy. Because here's the thing. Your organization drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks. That's your problem. That's your fucking fault. And you got to figure it the fuck out. Nobody put them in that situation but them. They need to figure it out. Either you say that he's not ready, and that's why we are continuing to start Dylan Gabriel, or you give him a fucking shot, because very clearly we can see that Dylan is not performing very good. Is that because of the people around him? Who knows? Give us some fucking transparency about what's happening with the quarterback plan. We'll never get that. I know it's way too much to ask for.
That would be the big bald move if Stefanski came out and said something along the lines of like, look, I think Shadur is the future of this franchise. I think he's good. I don't want to put him in and ruin him right now when our season's already fucking tanked. I mean, he's probably getting fired the next day, but at least that's pulling the Band-Aid off. Yeah. That's the big ball play, because a lot of coaches will come out and say, like, I don't want to start my rookie quarterback too early. I want to develop them. He can say basically the same thing and be like, yeah, I don't want to put them in a situation that is possibly going to have severe negative implications. And that's what we can encounter right now, because I do think that he's got the talent to be the guy here. He can come out and say that. He's getting fired one way or the other, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
But he would save some face probably with the Cleveland fan base for, like, you can't argue with him. Like, well, you're right.
I mean, you might save some. You might look better in the league as well. Like, all right, listen, he had a plan. He at least was thinking about the right way to try to deal with the quarterback. Because the way it looks now is that there was no fucking plan. And that's not good as a head coach. Offensive quarterback, like offensive coach. Like, come on, man. Figure it the fuck out. Anyways, you're on Browns money line. We ready to move on to the next game?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, brother. Let me pull it back up here. Our next game is an absolute fucking clunker again. We got the Saints taking on the Panthers in a wild matchup where the Panthers are favored -5.5 fucking points. Over under of 38.5. So Vegas is also expecting this game to be absolute dog shit. Evo, are you even remotely interested in this game? I know we have to pick it, but are we going to see anything new, anything special? Are the Panthers going to show up? Are they going to suck? Because this is a team that has allowed more points than they have scored, but they have a winning record at 5-4. What are you expecting out of this team right now?
I mean, look, the Panthers are second in the NFC South. They have a positive record right now. They are 3-1 at home. Give me the Panthers on the money line. I'm not going to fucking drop points with the Panthers. I'm not fucking crazy here. But, like, the Saints are in active tank mode. They started Tyler Shuck. They traded away one of their younger offensive weapons at the trade deadline. They traded away an offensive lineman, a starter. They're in active tank mode. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. The Panthers have a good running back, Enrico Dowdle. Like, they're better. So give me him on the money line. But I'm not fucking crazy. I'm going to drop the points or anything here. So yeah, Panthers on the money line.
All right, I'm going to take the points. This is our first disagreements. I'm taking the points for the Saints. Do I think that they're good? No. I don't have a really good reason to take the Saints, but this is kind of my plum pick. I do not see any way that Bryce Young leads a commanding win to get his team 2 games over 500. I think it's a higher likelihood that they will lose this fucking game than them going 2 games over 500, a team that we thought was absolute dog shit. I don't know if the Saints will win, but this is a divisional game. Both of these teams, I think, truly do suck. So I'm going to take the points for the Saints, +5.5.
Hey, fair. And look, the Saints haven't won a game by more than 3 points this entire year. other than to the Falcons, where it was a 30-0 rout. But that's an outlier one. So maybe not the craziest play here to do that, but yeah, I think it's, to me, safe route, Carolina money line here.
Yeah, makes sense to me, brother. Go ahead.
All right. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills going into Miami versus the Dolphins. This game has already happened once this year. Dolphins and Bills. Do we need to recap what happened there?
I can look it up real quick if you'd like me to.
I mean, there's a little bit of a storyline there because it was a lot closer of a game than it probably should have been.
Yeah, that was within what, 4 points, wasn't it?
I believe so. Either way, Buffalo's favored on the road here, minus 9.5 points, minus 105 odds. Or you can take Buffalo on the money line, minus 560, over under at 49.5.
So that game was closer. It did not finish close. So 31-21 was the final score.
Right. Either way, Miami actually kind of kept it close through a majority of the game there. But this was earlier on in the year, like where things were so much better on this Miami team, right? No. Like
it's been bad all year.
It does feel like they kind of hit rock bottom a couple weeks ago, and I don't know that you can go much further than rock bottom. So they're still at the same spot. They're dog shit. Miami's dog shit. The Bills got a good win last week versus the Chiefs. Probably feel good about that. It's also a divisional matchup. They're not gonna like just gloss over this Miami team. They might have done that a little bit the first go around, but they're not going to do it this time. Not enough for me to drop the 9.5 points here, but the Bills absolutely should win by 9.5 or more. I'm going to take the Bills on the money line. I don't have any faith in this Miami team unless you are trying to make a quick buck, because at plus 420 odds for Miami on the money line, that's a blaze it play right there if you really feel like throwing some of your money away.
All right. So I got the box score pulled up from the last game here. And one thing that pops out immediately, the Bills got no sacks on Tua. And they still lost by 10. The Bills got no sacks on Tua and the fucking Dolphins lost by 10. I'm taking the Bills and I'm dropping 9.5 points. They've already beaten them by that much once this year. And I think that this Bills team is very good. They are coming off a bye. They're healthy-ish. They're healthier than they've been in a while, even though I know there's still some banged up. They're banged up along that front. Ed Oliver obviously out, but I don't see them not getting getting a sack against this Miami team again, who has not protected great either. So I'm the Bills dropping the points, minus 9.5.
So Bills not coming off a bye. They beat Kansas City last week, so they actually did have.
So I guess they had a week, and then
yeah, but either way, they were able to beat one of the better teams in the AFC, even though they're not technically a playoff team right now. But look, Bills are they're better. They should absolutely win by more than 9.5 in this one, and start to really trounce this Dolphins team, who just gave up more talent at the trade deadline as well. Next up, New England Patriots at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks are favored at home, minus 2.5. They are coming off the bye here. Over under a 48.5. No Bucky, it sounds like. I don't believe there's been an announcement, but Bucky Irving hasn't practiced all week. And Chris Godwin also has not practiced, and it sounds like they're expecting him to be a late November, early December return. So they're not going to be in that offensive weapon back. However, the time off allows them to get a little bit healthier in general, but they are going up against a good Patriots team here. One that is surprising most people this year, having a good run. Mike, are you going to go with the hot hand Patriots or potentially one of the best teams in the NFC here in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'm riding the Patriots, man, and I'm taking them on the money line. I like this Bucs team. I like them a lot, but I love what this Patriots team is doing. I love the way they are playing. I love the stories that are coming out, like the Titans would not trade with them because they still fucking hate Mike Vrabel. That's awesome. That means that this fucking team is just probably pissed off and they are ready to play. Like, fuck these guys. I think that they have a chance to win this game, and I'm gonna fucking take that chance. I'm gonna ride the hot hand, plus 120 money line. I'm taking the underdog. I'm taking the Patriots.
Hey, I like it. Look, this is one of those tough games that's still on the Patriots schedule for me, and we still got them going. At least I still got them going double-digit wins, 11, 12 wins. But this is one of those tough ones and one that I can actually see them still losing here. I would love to see a good competitive game here because this will be a true showing of how good this Patriots team is because they've been beating up on a lot of kind of lesser than teams recently. And the Bucs are not one of those. The Bucs are a good team. Patriots without Ramondre Stevenson, like I said, Bucky Irving probably not playing for this Bucs team. But I'm going to go with the Bucs at home. I'm going to go on the money line. I do think that New England will drop a couple here and there. This will probably be one of them. But I'm hoping for a good game more than anything because these are two teams that I'm actually enjoying kind of watching their path this year. So, yeah, I'll go Tampa Bay on the money line.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be game of the week potential.
Yeah, possibly for sure.
You get a couple of quarterbacks slinging it around, and those are two like quarterbacks that I love. Obviously, I love Baker, and man, Drake May is playing out of his fucking mind right now.
Yeah, looking really, really good.
But all right, brother. Heading on to the next game, we've got the Cardinals going to the Seahawks. Seahawks favored -6.5 in this game. Over under where is it? 44.5. Cardinals have named Jacoby Brissett their starting quarterback.
For now.
We don't have questions per se. Jacoby has been named the starter as long as he is healthy. What are you expecting from this Cardinals team? Because that is what I think makes a difference in this game. We've talked about it now for a few weeks. The Seahawks team, very good. This Cardinals team has the potential to be good and plays way better with Jacoby Brissett at the quarterback spot. Evo, where are you going in this, man?
So Cardinals and Seahawks have already played once this year. It was a very close game that kind of came down to the wire, ended up resulting in Sam Darnold having to lead a game-winning drive for a field goal. That game ended up 23-20, with Seattle being the victor, and that was in Arizona. But this game is going out to Seattle, which probably flips things a little bit. The other difference is that Kyler Murray started that last game, and Kyler Murray sucks humongous donkey dick at football, at least this year. You say Jacoby Brissett's been named the starter. It is kind of by default because Kyler Murray's been placed on IR for 4 weeks.
I didn't hear the IR.
He is IR'd officially. Call of Duty comes out here in the next week.
Was Jacoby named the starter before he went to IR?
He was named the Week 10 starter prior to IR. Okay. Jonathan Gannon has maintained that Kyler Murray is the starter on this team when healthy.
He's not.
That's the thing is that Kyler was practicing a little bit before they started Jacoby last week. And then now you put him on IR. Look, the narrative is fucking great, man. Call of Duty comes out in like a week. It might even be today. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty much anymore. Either way, why would you put yourself in a corner? Jacoby Brissett is playing good. You probably want to name him the starter. All of a sudden, Trey McBride is getting touchdowns. In 3 years, I believe there was 3 touchdowns to Trey McBride between Kyler Murray and Trey McBride. And there's been, 4 in 5 games or something like that? Like
Jacoby, yeah.
With Jacoby.
Jacoby loves tight ends, bro.
All of a sudden, Marvin Harrison looks like he might be worth his draft slot. It's insane. I'm sure that the Cardinals wanted to say Jacoby's our starter because we're winning with him and he's playing good and our team just looks better. And there's a very convenient reason why he has to be the starter. Rather than having a quarterback controversy, we can just put Kyler on IR because he was already hurt. And oh yeah, he's going to play like shit the next fucking month because there's a new fucking video game that just came out. Yeah. It's great for the Cardinals. It's great. That being said, Seahawks are a really, really good team. They are doing very well. They've gotten stronger, it feels like, since the first time that they played. They are playing in Seattle. Tough place to play with that crowd. Sam Darnold is on a roll. I think that both of these teams are in a better spot than the first time that they played. So who am I going to pick?
I can tell you what I did if you want me to help influence you.
Oh, no, I already know. I'm taking the Cardinals plus the points. I think Seattle's going to win this game. I do. But I think that the Cardinals have enough juice with Jacoby Brissett that they might be able to keep this one right around that touchdown mark. So if I'm going to get 6.5 at the Cardinals, I'm going to go ahead and take them. If you want to take the safe play, take Seattle on the money line, in my personal opinion. But Cardinals here with Jacoby Brissett. If Jacoby Brissett had played their last game, they probably won it, in my opinion.
Okay.
So he's playing in this one. I think that they can keep it a little bit closer. They don't have the running backs that they used to. Kenneth Walker was actually a little bit more involved in that game, and he's not as much now in Seattle. I like the Seattle team a lot. I think they're going to get the win. But I think that the Cardinals can keep this one close. You're getting a lot better odds to take the points with the Cardinals. So I'm going to take the 6.5.
Absolutely. I'm doing the same thing. Cardinals plus 6.5. And it's because Jacoby Brissett. Now I'm going to pour one out. I'm not going to pour one out for the homies because Kyler's not my homie and he doesn't really deserve it. Like he's lost the spot. He's been benched. So I'm just going to take a shot in honor of Kyler being benched and see what this stuff actually tastes like. Water, essentially. All right. Yeah, Jacoby's way better at playing quarterback right now. So it makes 100% sense that they moved to him. Sure, he's on IR. I don't know. I think he was going to be benched regardless of if there was IR or coming or not. The Cardinals have played very good football with Jacoby. They played the Seahawks close before. Cardinals plus 6.5. I like it, man. I'm following that same route.
All right. Hey, look, I remind you, Kyler Murray is only 28 years old. There's a sport of which he was drafted into that doesn't conflict with the gaming schedule as much, and his size doesn't make as much of a difference. He could go play for the Athletics, of whom he was drafted to in the MLB. Maybe that just is a better fit for him, because right now the NFL isn't looking promising. I don't think he's looked good in recent years. He looks like ass this year. And I think the writing's on the wall that he's going to move this offseason.
Yeah.
Like if the Cardinals can find a suitor, they will trade
not
him.
Browns. I was just going to say, they're looking to find somebody to trade, and it better not be the fucking Browns. Because I swear to God, if we give up more, like especially a first-round pick for Kyler Murray after what the fuck has happened with Deshaun Watson and having both of those contracts on the books, I don't know how that would be tenable. I don't know how we could pull it off. So anybody on Brown's Twitter who is even remotely entertaining the idea of bringing in Kyler fucking Murray as a Brown, you're a moron. I don't understand how you could even remotely justify thinking that that would be a good idea. It's not. Please, God, no.
Yeah. Look, it'll be a lot of interesting conversation for this offseason, for sure. Him, Tua Tagovailoa, I both think both of them could be on the move this offseason as two veteran quarterbacks. And another veteran quarterback that could potentially be on the move next season or next offseason is a guy that's currently under contract with the San Francisco 49ers, Mac Jones. He's going to be starting again in this game between San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams. This game's being played in Santa Clara. It's not going to be Brock Purdy. I don't think they're going to move on Brock Purdy. But Mac Jones has been showing that he can go out there, he can win games, he can keep this competitive with a whole bunch of fucking backups. All right. So as of right now, prior to the draft, the Browns have a whole lot of backups at wide receiver. Like Jerry Jeudy showed some potential at one point in time. Cedric Tillman has shown some potential. But I think it's fair to say you guys don't really have a whole lot of like number one guy hopefuls there.
Carnell Tate, that's my hopeful.
Well, I said prior to the draft.
Okay.
Prior to the draft.
All right.
All right. So a guy like Mac Jones could go in there and really turn your franchise around, man.
No.
You want a Mac Jones?
No, I don't. I've had Mac Jones. I don't need.
You're
Mac
no
Jones
fun.
anymore.
Either way, Mac Jones is going to be starting in this game. Brock Purdy out again. San Francisco is a home dog in this one. Plus 4.5 points. You can go minus 4.5 for the LA Rams at minus 110 odds. Over under a 49.5 in this game. Mike, what are your thoughts on the Rams and the 49ers in this one? Are the Rams going to just kind of roll over? They've been a little bit quiet, but they've just been winning games recently. They're kind of the sleeper team because they aren't getting a whole lot of hype, but they've been putting up good ball in LA.
Yeah, I think the Rams are actually a pretty damn good team. I think they're a better team than the 49ers. 49ers have been finding ways to win cobbled together, but like this Rams team is really fucking good. That offense is really good. Puka Nacua, back, healthy, should be ready to play. Like was going last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that team has some fucking juice, and they're very well coached on defense. I understand that the 49ers are a very good team. They are also very well coached. But when it comes down to who's performed better so far on the year, who has more talent on the field right now, I think that's the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams on the money line because I think 4.5 is too much, especially for a division game.
Yeah, I'm going same. Rams on the money line here. Kyron Williams has been great. Rams are on a 3-game winning streak, looking to make it 4. They have faced some more subpar teams. They got a win 35-7 versus the Jaguars, a 34-10 win versus the Saints, and they beat up a little bit 17-3 on a a Ravens team that still kind of had that underperforming defense, though this was a better game for that Ravens. It was kind of the turnaround game for that Ravens defense because they held a team below 20 points. But it was without Lamar Jackson. So they have had a little bit of an easier run the past 3 games. This is going to be probably their toughest test going up against the 49ers, who have a good offensive system, a good offensive coach, and Christian McCaffrey. But I like the Rams in this one. I think that they will probably win, but I can see this be like a 3-point margin here, which is why dropping the 4.5 points doesn't completely work for me. I'll take the Rams on the money line.
All right. I like it, man. I agree with you. All right, heading on to our next game. We got the Lions heading down to take on the Washington Commanders. Lions are favored in this game, -8.5, over under 48.5. Lions have been on a roll. Commanders are grasping at straws because their quarterback is. Listen, the Lions are fucking good. I understand they drop a game to you guys.
They're not on a roll. They just got rolled at home.
That's true. They were on a roll prior to dropping a game to you guys.
Yeah.
The Commanders have not been on a roll at any point in the season, other than maybe their quarterback's elbow getting rolled up in the wrong fucking direction.
Not going on IR. They're not putting them IR. They're assessing week to week.
That's insane.
Look, Khalil Mack dislocated his elbow earlier this year. He plays a much more physically demanding position.
You don't put him back out there in a lost season.
I wouldn't. I completely agree. I wouldn't. I would let him get healthy. That being said, you're seeing guys who play a much more physically demanding position in Khalil Mack, who had a very similar dislocation, and he's back out there with the brace. This is non-throwing arm. If you're able to string together a couple of wins here and you're the Commanders, maybe you're thinking like, hey, we might want to put our guy back out there to compete. But I'm of the same thought process as you. Like, sure, don't put him IR, assess the next couple weeks. But if you don't get wins here in the next 3 weeks, like 2 of 3, IR him, call it a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we're going to have Marcus Mariota starting this game. I don't know if they're going to have enough juice to keep it within 8.5. But 8.5 is a lot of points to drop, man. What are you feeling in this game?
I think that this game is going to be an ass whooping, a hardcore ass whooping. Look, the Detroit Lions have been very good this year. This Dan Campbell team is known for dominating the trenches. Good run game. Dominant wins. They got embarrassed at home last week. There's no way that practices this week weren't fucking hardcore if that didn't solidify the grit in this Lions team. Like, I could see them putting up nearly 200 yards on the ground alone. Like, they are going to go into this game with a purpose. The Commanders are in a bad spot because they just had their quarterback go down, and now you have a very, very angry Motor City Kitties coming into your stadium. Like, it's a bad spot to be in because they're going to look to take out their aggression. I absolutely could see Detroit winning by 20 points in this game. I'm not going to drop the points, though. I'm going to take Detroit on the money line. I love Detroit in this game, though. I don't think the Commanders have been good this year. Now they are down their most talented player. They haven't been able to put together a run game all year. Their defense looks aged out, and you're going to have a Dan Campbell-led team that is looking for blood. The only thing that I'm scared about for this Detroit team is the field that they're going to be playing on, because they're going to be running all over it.
I agree. I agree so much, and I actually took the Lions minus 8.5 points, man. Without Jaden Daniels, this Commanders team is going to be just a ship without a captain. Marcus Mariota has done a good job at times in his career. He's done a good job at times this season. But we've also seen Marcus Mariota do some really boneheaded shit this year. And this Lions team is really fucking good. The Commanders have struggled to stop the run. The Lions run the ball really fucking well, unless they're playing you guys, apparently. So, like, I have no reason to not draw. Like, because I think this is going to be an ass whooping. I'm taking Lions minus 8.5.
Yep. I didn't have the balls to do it. But I think that they're gonna fucking roll them up bad. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going into the Chargers. Chargers in LA are home favorites, minus 2.5 points at minus 115 odds, over under of 44.5. Chargers down for the year. Their top two tackles now, which I think is going to play a big part of this game. Pittsburgh Steelers got a win last week, but it wasn't a convincing win. I've beat this like a dead horse. I think Indianapolis beat themselves, not Pittsburgh beating the Colts. Colts with 6 turnovers still only lost by 1 score. Chargers are a good team. They've got their essentially full complement of receivers out there. Justin Herbert having a really fucking good year. They're probably going to go to a little bit more of a quick hitter passing game because Herbert's not going to be able to sit back in the pocket as much because Pittsburgh does have good pass rushers. But I expect the Chargers to come out here and kind of cement who they are and rise above the fact that they have these injuries. I'm going to go with the Chargers on the money line in this one because I don't have faith in the Steelers team. I think they are a phony team right now with their current record of 5-3. And I'm sure that's something that all the Browns faithful watching this love to hear. But yeah, I am not on this Pittsburgh Steelers team right now. And the Chargers, despite the severe injuries that they've encountered, specifically to their tackles, that worries me. It's why I'm not going to drop the points here, but I do like the Chargers in this one.
All right, man. Oh, listen, I think the Chargers will probably win this game, but I think this game is actually going to be really fucking close. They've played really close games a few times this year, some against good teams and some against bad teams. Like, they've played what? They played the Giants within 3. They lost. The Broncos within 3. They've got to win. They played the fucking Dolphins within 2. Got to win. Like, they have played
a lot of bad teams.
A lot of bad teams and close. I'm taking the Steelers and I'm taking the points. I don't know that the Steelers can win this thing, but the fact that the Chargers have lost both their tackles, and we saw the Steelers defense really kind of get going last week. Obviously, you have a week where you get 6 turnovers. That's going to really amp your fucking defense up a little bit. You're going to be feeling good about yourself. You're going to be riding high. And I fucking hate saying all of this about the Steelers, but the facts are the facts. When you have a performance like that, that can kind of propel you a little bit forward. So I don't know if they'll win, but I think they can at least keep this thing close against the Chargers team that plays bad teams close. So Steelers plus 2.5 points.
All righty. Last game of the week here. We've got our Monday night game. Philadelphia going into Green Bay versus the Green Bay Packers. Packers are favored at home minus 1.5 points, which basically means that this Philadelphia team is favored if you take home field advantage out of it. But you can drop the 1.5 for the Packers minus 110 odds over under a 44.5. What Jordan Love are we going to see trot out in the field in this one?
The same one that always fucking trots out there, the wildly mediocre one. It'll depend on what happens with his wide receivers. What group of wide receivers will show up? The ones that can catch jump balls and make plays after the catch, or guys that drop the ball? Because that's the difference. That's the only fucking difference in this team. Jordan Love shows up and does the same goddamn thing every week. He hooks it up, and sometimes the shit works out. He has bad ball placement all the time. He has a crazy high number for turnover-worthy plays. Like, he's not a great quarterback. It will happen. Whatever happens around him is what's going to make the difference. And I think this Eagles team is better. They should not be the fucking dog in this. I don't care that it's late in the year and we're going up to Lambeau. The Packers have not really proven to me that they're special. They just lost a fucking game to the Panthers that they never should have fucking lost. And now they're favorited against the fucking Eagles just because it's home field advantage. That's insane. This is that game I'm talking about where this doesn't make any fucking sense. I said it at the beginning and I'm going to stand by it. I'm not fucking going with what Vegas says. The Packers should not be the favorites. The Eagles are going to win this game. Eagles on the money line, and I will take the plus 106 odds and say thank you very fucking much.
Well, Mike, you and I have agreed on a lot of things today, and we're going to do it again. Philadelphia on the money line in this one. I think that the Packers offense is going to take a huge step back. Not that they've been really dominant this year, but they lost their best offensive weapon, Tucker Kraft, which means they're going to have to lean a little bit more into their run game and Josh Jacobs. But I think that if Philadelphia is able to get ahead of the script, if they are able to get some points and put the Packers in a spot where they have to try to win the game, Jordan Love has shown that he doesn't have that clutch gene. He doesn't have the ability to bring his team back and win games. He doesn't have the receiving complement necessary to do that either. Romeo Doubs is their leading receiver. They drafted number 1 pick Matthew Golden, who's a speedster and has less receiving touchdowns this year than Caleb Williams, who paints his nails. I don't like the receiving options there. I don't like their backup tight end option there. They're going to have to lean on running the ball. Philly's going to understand that. They're going to know that. Philly also had a bye week last week and was very active in the trade market. They made their defense better. They brought in multiple defensive backs. They brought in more edge rush help. Give me Philadelphia on the money line in this one.
I agree, man. It makes a lot of sense to me. Vegas tends to fuck us, but last week it worked out in our favor. We went against the grain.
I don't even think that this is the Vegas giving weird odds thing. It is just the home field advantage. Home field advantage is between 1.5 to 3 points for home field advantage. And Lambeau can be a tough place to play. But as of late, it doesn't seem like that home field advantage has made a whole lot of difference for this Packers team. Also, it is just the beginning of November. We're not talking about December, January football at Lambeau. That's a different beast. This is still early on in the year. And so to me, that home field advantage doesn't give me a whole lot of faith right now. That this is Vegas telling me Philadelphia is the better team here and they're projected to win. So give me Philly on the money line.
All right. My man, we got one more thing to do. Listen, I told everybody that I was going a little wild, but that was kind of inspired by our guy Blitz because he came with a big ass bet. I think his biggest bet, our biggest bet of the year in terms of the parlay. We ready to pop that bad boy up?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Mike. Break this one down for us.
Whew. So we talked about it earlier, man. Trey McBride has been getting touchdowns. If Kyler Murray were in, touchdown wouldn't feel so good. But plus 150 odds with Jacoby. He loves throwing to tight ends, especially in the red zone. Plus 150 odds with Trey McBride there. Rams been spectacular in the third quarter, beating the shit out of their opponents. Evo, do you have the exact numbers on the third quarter spread there?
It is minus 1.5 third quarter spread.
So no. Do you know what they are winning the third quarter? Like, do you have the numbers of how much they are beating their opponents in the third quarter?
It's specifically the 49ers have not won a third quarter spread all year. So,
okay, so he's betting against the Niners there with the Rams.
Yes. Yeah. Blitz did this once earlier this year with the Falcons versus the Niners, and it worked out. Yeah. I don't believe the Falcons won that game, but they did win that third quarter spread.
And then Aranda Gadsden, man, has become a huge target in that Chargers offense. Listen, if this game is going to be close like I think it is, or you think they're going to win, Aranda Gadsden is going to be a big part of that offense. He's gone over 60 or right around that 60-yard mark, that plus 124 odds. All of these are a little bit of a gamble, but you're getting plus 1,076 odds with this bet. That is a big bet for Blitz. So 10 will win you what? 107.60. So that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Blitz is he had a little bit of extra juice in his water bowl this week. He's feeling it. He won 2 in a row, didn't win it last week, but he's feeling good. And so obviously he's given us a bit of a spicy bet here this week. And it's one that I like. Look, these are obviously plus odds. Anytime touchdowns are always a little bit scary. But Trey McBride has been on a little bit of a roll with Jacoby Brissett. They have a good thing going. So if there's going to be a passing touchdown, I would assume it's either going to be to Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison, or maybe both of them. And so, like you said, Aranda Gatson been having a really good year since getting that starting role. He's actually kind of surpassed Quentin Johnson, kind of taken over that sort of big body receiver role, because Aranda Gatson isn't much of a blocker. He never was in college, and that's not his role in this offense. He is a receiving tight end. And then the Rams, we both think that they're a better team right now than that 49ers team. And that 49ers team just has not performed well in the third quarter. That's bared fruit for us previously. It's borne fruit for Blitz. And so he's going to run with that one again this week. Got us really good odds if you're trying to make a lot of money.
Listen, I like making lots of money. It's way better than making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Or no money if in your case with working.
That Daddy could use a little bit of extra money right now.
Oh, man, are we ready to wrap this thing up? Oh,
yep.
There's all the picks.
So here's our picks for the week. Go ahead, screenshot it, take a pick, decide what you like. We got a lot of the same feelings on these games here. Not very many differences, and that worked out for us last week. We had ourselves a pretty fucking good week, and so maybe we string a couple together here.
That'd be nice, man. I'd like you to get over 60 and then me over 55% after this week. That is a big ask. That is about 1.5% a piece. So that's going to be a lot. We're going to need to probably go 10-3-ish to make that happen with these 13 games.
Yeah, something like that. Look, the overall goal for me at this point, just to kind of fit with the year and pop culture, I got it. I believe I've gotten around that 65% before, but I'm going for 67% this year. Got to try to get it. Gonna have to go gangbusters the rest of the year.
Have we done it enough that it's lame now and people will stop doing it?
I'm seeing all this this basketball going on right now. Kids at basketball games, and when the score gets up to 67, they're still fucking going insane in the stands on the TikTok. I think it's still out there. It's still an option. But when Merriam-Webster Dictionary coins the word of the year to be 6'7", that's probably the nail in the coffin that is going to make it no longer fun. But we still have another week or so to catch up on it.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. My man, I appreciate you. And to everybody who's tuning in, thank you very much. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. We are going to get out of here, and we'll be back to recap on Tuesday night all the games that take place this weekend. But before we get out of here, I'm going to give my man Evo one last word.
Look, again, if you're thinking about hurting yourself, if you're in a bad spot, dial 988, contact us, contact a friend. Don't think that you're alone. People are there for you, and we want you here with us.
We absolutely do. Call your friends. Take care of yourselves. Somebody. Guys, thank you very much. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. We're going to get the fuck out of here. See you.